Hello everyone. On behalf of Tutorial 4, Group 18, I'd like to welcome you to our presentation. Our topic is Growing GDP in Poorer Countries and Region Around the World to Alleviate Poverty, a case study of Pakistan. This is a topic that affects millions of lives and is deeply connected to how countries can unlock their full economic potential. Together with my teammates Naman, Amna, and Fahad, we're going to walk you through key factors driving economic growth in developing countries with a special focus on how Pakistan can harness the power of small and medium enterprises to tackle poverty. To begin, I'll hand over to my teammate Naman, who will take us through the introduction of our topic.
So, thank you, Annie. As we all know, economic growth is often seen as a key to lifting people out of poverty. But if you see in country like Pakistan, there are a lot of obstacles on the way. Just to give you some context, Pakistan current GDP is around $376 billion, but still one third of the population is still in poverty and the growth rate is just 2.1%. Despite all that, there's one area that really gives us hope, the SME sector, or we can call it as the small and medium enterprises. These businesses contribute around 40% of the GDP and are known to employ 80% of the non agricultural workforce. I think that's a huge percentage. They are the hidden engine of their economy as they help in generating jobs, encourage innovations, even boost exports. But they face a lot of challenges like poor infrastructure, lack of financing, and one of the biggest challenges that they face is the political instability. Our research is meant for people who can actually make a difference, like government bodies such as the Ministry of Finance, Samhita, and there are some international organizations like the World Bank and ADB, and even private sector players who care about economic development. We wanted to highlight what the gaps are and how to fill them. So, how do we go about it? Well, we didn't just look at Pakistan, we have explored other countries as well, especially India and China, who had a great success in supporting SMEs. If we look at China, they have built special economic zones that helps business to grow at a faster rate. And if we look at India, they have used fintech and digital IDs to help businesses get access to loans. Well, I think Pakistan isn't that far enough. Pakistan has its old worldwide brand called Khadi. You know, Khadi started small and is now international. So I think things can be done, but we need the right support and right policies in place. In short, this introduction is setting the stage for everything else we cover, what the main obstacles are, what worked in other countries, and what Pakistan can learn from that. At the end of the day, if we can unlock the true potential of SMEs, we are not just talking about economic numbers, we are talking about real change, more jobs, less poverty, and a stronger, more inclusive economy. Now, I would like Annie to take over and explain the next slide that is related to context. Thank you.
Thank you, Naman. I want to talk about how Pakistan's economy, uh, what's going wrong, what could go right, and why something called SME could be a bigger part of the solution. So let's start with the reality. Right now, Pakistan is facing some serious economic problems. About 37% of people live in poverty. Prices keep going up. Inflation was 27% last year, and our economy only grew 2.1%. That's very slow for a country with so much potential. Most people they still work in farming, but farming alone cannot carry a whole country. We need to grow other parts of the economy too. And that's why SME is important. SMEs means small and medium sized enterprises, basically small businesses. These businesses are like middle ground between farming and big industries. They create jobs, bring new ideas, and help the economy forward. Now, in other countries like China and India, SMEs have helped transform their economies. China used special economic zones, which are like special areas where tax breaks and better infrastructure helps small businesses grow fast and attract foreign investors. India used digital ID systems and microloans to help ordinary people start small businesses. Pakistan can learn a lot from these countries, but to do that, we have to fix some big problems. So, what's holding Pakistan back? First, political instability. When governments change often and policies keep shifting, it's hard for businesses to grow and to plan. Investors get nervous and long-time projects are delayed or dropped. Secondly, we have weak infrastructure. Think about electricity. Many areas have constant power cuts, which obviously hurt factories, small workshops, road and transport are not good either, which makes moving expensive and slow. Thirdly, the rules and taxes for businesses are complicated. There's too much paperwork, too many steps, and too many unclear fees. This discourages people from even starting a business. And if you think about it, those that often stay informed or aware of small businesses, they avoid the hassle. And fourth, access to finance. It's a big issue. Most small businesses cannot get loans from banks. Only 7% of bank loans go to SMEs. That's really tiny. And when they do get loans, the interest is often too high. Banks see small businesses as risky, so they avoid them. And finally, corruption. This raises cost delays, makes the system unfair. If people have to pay a bribe to get basic services or approvals, it kills motivation and it wastes resources. Now, to really understand these problems, our research uses something called the PESTEL framework. That's just a tool to look at political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors affecting businesses. Let's break it down quickly. Politically, frequent government changes and poor policy consistency. Economically, high inflation and limited bank credit. Socially, young population, many lack education or digital skills. And technologically, there's poor internet and digital access, especially outside cities. Environmentally, energy shortages, unreliable transport, and climate risk. So, legally, complicated tax rules and tough business registration processes. Despite all of this, SMEs still contribute about 40% of Pakistan's GDP and provide 80% of jobs outside farming. So that's huge. But imagine what they could do if they had actual support properly. So, what can we do? We can set up National SME Fund to offer loans without collateral. We can build digital and export hubs in different regions to help small businesses reach their markets, simplify tax and business registration processes, partner with fintech companies to give loans based on transaction data, like what India is doing with their digital ID systems. While we can also try the economic special zones in key areas like Faisalabad and Gwada, starting small, and we can expand it if it works. So, in conclusion, Pakistan has the talent and the potential, but to grow, we must empower small businesses by learning from countries and making changes that fit our local needs. We can create stronger economy, one that many people can thrive, not just survive. Now I'm going to pass it to my team member Amna, who's going to take us through the data analysis.
Thank you so much, Annie, and hi everyone. Now, I'll be presenting the data analysis section of our research. And this part explores the actual number and key insight that highlights how vital small and medium enterprises are to the Pakistan's economy actually, and more importantly, what's holding them back from reaching their goals and for full potential. So I'll begin this with the employment distribution. In Pakistan, 80% of non agriculture employment comes from the SME sector, while only 20% is attributed to large enterprises. This tells us that SMEs are the backbone of the Pakistan's job market, and despite their sizes, these small businesses are carrying the weight of the workforces. So in terms of contributing to the economy, if we talk about their contribution into the economy, SMEs contributes around like 40% to the Pakistani's GDP. And however, their potential is largely untapped due to a combination of system and structure. The both of them are actually the issue. So let's look at a few of these barriers. So firstly, I'll talk about the access to the financial finance is actually access to the finance is one of the most critical issue. According to the State Bank of Pakistan, only 7% of total bank credit goes to SME. Only 7%, and most SMEs lack the uh, formal documentation which bank required the most, and bank requires that the formal they need the formal documentation and the proper things, and this means they can't invest in expansion, innovation, and the improvements, basic improvements. Secondly, I'll talk about the deficit of infrastructure like outages and expensive logistics, and the weak digital connectivity significantly restricted SMEs productivity. They restrict SMEs productivity. I mean, if they are not like if they cannot connect themselves to the social media, they cannot expand anything. And many businesses, especially these outside especially those outside major cities, struggles to compete because they don't have access to reliable electricity and the modern supply chains. So, thirdly, I'll talk about the regulatory burdens and informality discourages small business from being becoming officially registered. They cannot register themselves officially because of the lack of the documentation, as I discussed before. So, complex tax system, multiple regulations, and lengthy processes create unnecessary hurdles to them. And as a result, many businesses remain informal and miss out the government support and financial inclusion as well. So, also, I want to discuss that there is an issue of limited technologies adoption. SMEs, particularly in rural and semi urban areas, these are the more backward areas of the region. So, they have been slow to adopt digital tools like e commerce platforms or digital payment systems. So, this digital divide not only affect their local competitiveness, but they also they completely restrict their access to the international markets as well. I'm going to talk about lastly, I'm going to talk about the political instability and security concern. They reduce the investors' confidence, and frequent changes in the government and economy's policies it made more harder for them to plan anything in the long term because their things are very uncertain. So visualize this will include comparison between SME sector contribution in India, Pakistan, and China. So the graph here that clearly shows that Pakistan's lags behind both nations actually. So the term of SME support and scalability, this gap indicates a major opportunity for Pakistan to learn from these countries and implement focused reforms. So if I conclude the data analysis, I'll say that our data analysis reveals that while SMEs are crucial to Pakistan's economy, their growth is severely constrained by the poor access of finances, infrastructure's gap, regulatory issues, and technologies lag. So, if these challenges are actually addressed through the targeted policies and investment, SMEs could become a powerful engine and a powerful backbone for the GDP growth and poverty alleviation as well. Thank you so much. And now I'll hand over to my another fellow. Farhat, please continue.
Thank you, Amna. So my part is like conclusion and recommendation, and I will start from the conclusion. So small and medium-sized businesses, that are the SMEs, are the backbone of Pakistan economy. They contribute about 40% of the country's GDP and provide jobs for most people outside farming. But sadly, they are not living up to their full potential because of a lot of challenges like not getting enough funding, dealing with poor roads and electricity, confusing rules, are not being fully digital. When we look at countries like China, India, we see that small government policies really help their small businesses grow. But those small solutions can't just be copied and pasted into Pakistan. We need to adjust them to fit our local situation. Pakistan has a complex system, things like unstable politics, limited government budgets, and the fact that many businesses operate informally without being officially registered make it harder to apply big plans. On top of that, global problems like energy shortage and climate issues also affect us. The key takeaway from this research is that Pakistan can still move forward, but it needs a flexible and realistic plan. We can start small things like digital credit scoring for business loan, and at the same time work on bigger improvement in infrastructure and policy. Real change will only happen if the government, banks, and private complex work together and stick to it for a long haul. So the recommendation is make it easier for small mediums to get loans, set up a national fund that gives small businesses loans without asking for big collateral, work with fintech companies to use digital data like mobile payments to decide who qualified, just like India's system. Build support hubs in key cities like Faisalabad and Sialkot. Create hubs where small business can get mentorship, help with exports, and cheaper access to services like shipping. Go Digital launch a one-stop shop online portal where business owners can register, pay taxes, and apply for support all in one place. Support women in business. Women are very important in business. Start programs that give women small loans, digital skills training, and grants, especially in rural areas. Adapting to global challenges. The world is unpredictable, as you all know. Unpredictable wars, trade issues, political issues, and sanctions can mess with our economy. Pakistan depends a lot on export, which means our small businesses are at risk with global problems hit. To protect them, we must build up our local markets so businesses can survive without depending too much on exports. Expand regional trade, especially with nearby places like Central Asia and Middle East. My final thoughts on this are Pakistan doesn't need a perfect plan, it needs a plan that works on now and can adjust as things change. This means that short term go digital, help small businesses get credit and make things simpler. Long term, build stronger supply chain, focus on specific industries that can grow, and SME support a part of national development goals. The future is uncertain, but with the right mindset and teamwork, Pakistan's small business can grow, adopt, and draw real progress. Thank you, and I will pass to my group member. Annie.
Thank you, Fahad. So, our research shows that while Pakistan, like many other countries, face serious economic challenges such as poverty, weak infrastructure, limited access to finance, there's also a clear path forward. By investing in small, medium-sized enterprises, improving governance, and adopting smart strategies from countries like India and China, Pakistan can not only grow its GDP, but also reduce poverty in a meaningful and sustainable way. It's not just about fixing the economy, it's about empowering people, creating opportunities, and building a more inclusive future. We hope that this presentation has given you valuable insights and into how targeted economic strategies can transform poorer regions into engines of growth. Thank you so much. Here we're gonna show you the references used for our research. We've come to the end of our presentation. Thank you so much.